Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for your patience today. Um, we've It's been a real journey being here at Mount Shasta, running the retreat and getting to know all the immersives. It's been a really full week. It's been a really blessed week, and it's also been a week of a lot of coordination and just going with the current of where quantum energy is always initiating us next into our greatest potential. So thank you so much for your patience and in our working with technology to bring you this live transmission. So let's begin with, it's a little different for me to be doing this in a different location. So I would say let's begin with dropping into our centers. Divine Mother, Divine Father, Sophia God of all life, Holy Mother Creatrix of all life, thank you for this amazing opportunity to be able to come together with your initiates around the world, all of us together as one family of light, for this Hathor transmission, for this opportunity to be directly initiated by the holy mountain, Mount Shasta. And we give thanks for every single person on today's call in this class, that we are truly all here to receive your grace, to receive your divine interventions, to receive those teachings that are most applicable for our human journey, our heroic human journey, that reach us beyond the limitations of our mind and step us into the unlimited vista of our own sovereignty within our hearts. Holy Mother, Sophia God, we welcome your High Council of Ascended Masters, the Sophia Dragon Tribe, to now anchor this container within the seventh plane consciousness of your Sophia Christ light, lifting each and every one of us, our consciousnesses in both within us and outside of us, into that Sophia light, that seventh plane, that final source light from which all other light arises. Excuse me. Hey, kitty, come on in. Yeah. Hmm. And in the north, we welcome White Buffalo Woman, grounding our container. In the northeast, we welcome winged, beloved Isis. And we also welcome in the northeast, on that second ring of light, beloved Saint Germain, who is highly revered here at Mount Shasta. In the east, we welcome the powerful presence of Hathor, our overlighting mentor for the month of June. And on the second ring of light, we welcome the Hathor Star Nation. In the southeast, we welcome Green Tara and that first ring of light around your Divine Feminine Christ circle of empowerment. And on that second ring of light, we welcome the Hathor Star Nation. In the south, we welcome a High Priestess of Hathor, Mother Mary, she of 1,000 Roses. In the southwest, we welcome Mary Magdalene and Jesus on the second ring of light, and then the entire order of Magdalena in the southwest. In the west, I welcome Kuan Yin and Maha Avatar Babaji, anchoring our western gate. And I also welcome the Sophia Dragons in the northwest. I also welcome all of the Syrian and Pleiadian archangels that are here to assist in this transmission, to join us on the second ring of light around our Divine Feminine Christ Ascended Masters, including all of those archangels that are in such deep service here to this planet, such as Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, Archangel Gabriel, Archangel Uriel, Archangel Jeremiah, Shamuel, Archangel Haniel, Jophael, Zadkiel, Archangel Metatron, Archangel Sandalphon, I'm also welcoming in the spirit of hummingbird and butterfly and bee medicine to join us in the south for our prayer to have more life, more happiness, and more joy in our service. In the center of this, of your divine feminine Christ circle, we now invoke the fullness of your higher self, descending as the Shekinah dove of grace, that Holy Spirit, that it is your soul's hologram of absolute peace to now descend through you, within you, and to be awakened within every cell of your body, so that you may feel your own Sophia Christ light within the Sophia Code divine genome within you, activated by the presence of your higher self. At this time, I witnessed that our curriculum initiates are being gathered and welcomed into a golden temple complex here in the seventh plane consciousness. So we invite your consciousness to ascend with Hathor and the Hathor Star Nation into your full awareness of this golden pyramid of light. As you walk towards that golden pyramid of light, you are being blessed and anointed. And in your third eye, you may feel or see yourself dressed in white robes. As you walk through the pyramid door, Hathor, you see that Hathor is at the center of the pyramid, and she's welcoming you in. And as you walk through that first temple entrance of the pyramid, there's this ray of golden light that descends over your consciousness to bless your understanding, to let go, and allow for this very multidimensional transmission from Hathor to feed your soul and your heart and your mind beyond efforting. Beneath us, beneath this pyramid and beneath our sanctuary container, you are being invited to feel the presence of Mother Earth, including Mount Shasta's spirit here with you through Mother Earth. We are also welcoming the guides from Telos, the city of light that exists within the mountain. And for many, all of the initiates in our immersive receive guides from Telos. So we welcome your guides to this space. But for those of you who are not able to join us in Mount Shasta, we welcome your higher self to receive whatever guides from Mount Shasta, Telos, that you've been calling in for your human awareness. As we are stepping into a Hathor with a pyramid with Hathor, there is no distance between time and space. We can simply, through a 0-point calibration, receive the blessings of these new guides from Telos for you. At the center of this beautiful golden pyramid of light, there are sacred waters at the center of this pyramid. And Hathor is inviting you to the center of the pyramid to float upon these beautiful turquoise green waters that she has at the center of her golden pyramid. So you can walk up to that pool and just gently fall back, and you will be lifted on the wings of angels to land gently on that pool of water. Hathor is, For those of us who joined us in the immersive, we did a Divine Feminine Christ baptism. And she's saying that for those of us joining us from the immersive, that this is the second part of your baptism. And for those of us that are just joining now, this is the first stage of your baptism with Hathor this month of June. And what your consciousness is being baptized from within these holy waters, within this golden pyramid of light with Hathor, you're being baptized to release the limiting thoughts that you have about yourself. And that doesn't just mean how much money you could make or what kind of dream job you could have, or limiting your thoughts about, partnership or whatever is important to you. She's saying it's also about what your human body can physically do in this lifetime, and where your spiritual journey of ascension can take you in this lifetime. And so as you float upon these beautiful turquoise waters with the golden Hathor singing over you, the Hathor Star Nation is joining you as well over this pool of light. And you may begin to feel the orbit of your electrons expand wider as you unwind old patterns of how your electrons are keeping your body formed. There's a softening with this water that is occurring now within your entire being, a flexibility, a malleability, an invitation to your unlimited divine nature. With these holy waters and this golden light the Hathor is singing through you is this singing away of those hardened thoughts. And I'm hearing she's saying hardened thoughts of unforgiveness towards yourself, in particular unforgiveness for becoming human, because it can be so difficult to be human. We can really have a lot of feelings about it. And so this water is so blessed by Hathor, is so filled with this divine love and this divine presence, divine acknowledgement of your divinity, that it's summoning those challenging ideas or projections or judgments about your human journey, and it's softening and it's cleansing those areas within you that are ready to receive Hathor's love. And from the very pinnacle of the pyramid is descending an ankh of light, all the way into the center of your heart. As you are laying on these holy waters, it's almost as though the image that I'm getting for each of us upon these waters is though we're being almost like dismembered, because there's so much of us spreading out and letting go. Don't worry, Hathor is going to sew you back even better than before. And in these holy waters, feeling the orbit of your electrons widen much farther than you'd ever anticipated that your electrons could widen, which means you can have a much more malleable, flexible, fluid experience of your human body. We welcome your higher self to pour in an unconditional download, a download of unconditional confidence, self-love, self-compassion, and creativity about how you're going to think about yourself moving forward, what is possible. And all of the Hathor star nations are surrounding you in this beautiful pool of turquoise healing waters. And as they surround you with their love and their resonant tones, we invite you to feel into all of those billions of electrons that make up your human body that is much wider and broader and deeper and malleable than it was only 5 minutes ago. And we welcome your human awareness to begin to travel across your electrons to every lifetime that is important for you to send out this golden light and turquoise waters healing from Hathor to every part of you across space and time. In particular, Hathor is saying to any lifetimes that you've had in Egypt that were painful for you. In particular, she's saying it training with her mystery school or the end of her golden age. So often when we have an incredibly beautiful golden age and then it comes to an end, and if you are alive during the end of it, when there was a lot of oppression of men and women who were Hathors, for training to be Hathors, it can cause great, deep cellular grief. Most women or men that I have met in my practice connected to Hathor and Hathor's work generally have a great deal of trauma around their throat chakra and the sense of feeling safe here on the earth plane. That's because at the end of that golden age, the Hathors were deeply persecuted, those who remained on earth after Hathor's ascension. Because we were experiencing so much power, creative power, that power wanted to be absorbed by a hierarchy of lesser consciousness. And it was forcefully done so. So Hathor is singing over us that this is that lifetime where these stories can come to peace and rest through the power of your own Holy Spirit, higher self, directing a multidimensional healing from every cell of your body to every cell of your bodies in Egypt or any other lifetime that is seeking for your loving compassion and acknowledgement. She's saying that your golden light was dimmed at another time. And you may begin to feel hands or eyes or the sound of the Hathor singing to different parts of your crown chakra, your third eye, your ear chakras, as we are sending out waves of light across all of your electrons that literally exist everywhere simultaneously. So wherever you exist in Egypt in another body, we send out this golden light of blessing and healing and reconciliation. Wherever you exist on this planet in different lifetimes and in other planets and other lifetimes, we send out this golden Ankh healing and empowerment of your soul's sovereignty across all of your electrons. And you may begin to feel the presence of your higher self literally drawing, magnetizing aspects or wisdom of yourself in those other lifetimes back to you here in this lifetime. What if there was a way that you could sing in another lifetime that you'd like to return back to you now? What if there was a way that you could move your body or shapeshift your body? Or what if there was a way that you could heal or love others that you'd like to return back to yourself in this lifetime as a part of your medicine for humanity, your medicine for your own heart? There are many beings of light that are assisting you. All of the ascended masters and archangels are assisting you with this soul retrieval. And I'm witnessing this throat chakra activation that's happening as these aspects of yourself are returning to you now. And you may want to take a deep breath. To allow this much love in for yourself today. It's beautiful sapphire blue, divine feminine, divine masculine Christ blueprint for your throat chakra. They're saying that interfaces with your golden dragon light body. You may feel whatever blueprint of your throat chakra that has been serving you up to this point begin to literally be unhinged as this new blueprint comes in. And we're all on, everyone in the call is on mute. So if you would like to tone 3 ohms with me to seal this throat chakra transmission, let's do that together. And I'll do my best to not blow out the microphone here by being quieter with my toning. But you can tone as loud as you want. And within this golden pyramid of light, with these blessed healings and activations being given to us through Hathor, she's inviting your consciousness to, in this space where you get to just feel her love for you, to feel how truly beautiful and elegant and intelligent and gentle yet powerful she is. You get to also feel her deep understanding that humanity has forgotten so much of its own innate power that is given to us through the gift of our human body. Each of these chakras can be activated and blessed and awakened for us to live as gods and goddesses upon the earth. Truly, that is what was happening in Hathor's time. And there's this essence of pink lotus, like that, the smell of pink lotus that she is sending out to soften and bless your heart and mind. She's saying, I understand the great task, mission that each and every one of us has taken on to activate humanity's awareness to its potential, because most of humanity has truly forgotten how precious, special, and powerful it really is. I mean, most of humanity has forgotten even the power of its own voice. That what we speak, what we believe about ourselves, and what we speak about ourselves over and over again actually becomes our reality. Whether we are consciously aware of it or not, that's how powerful our very tongues are. And most of humanity can't even actually accept that that is true yet, let alone that this human body could one day completely shapeshift into a different form or consciously live in multiple realities at the same time. And this is why in Hathor's chapter, right in the middle of it, we're met with Mother Mary. And she's giving these foundational mystery school teachings about the power of our throats and our tongues to create a new reality for ourselves, a heavenly reality for ourselves. So Hathor is administering these balms of anointing oil over your ears, over your third eye, over your heart, so that she's saying it's to soothe how difficult and challenging it can feel to be a way shower to the rest of humanity. At the time that she was living, Hathor was definitely living in advanced times, but she was the one who initiated the golden age. It was the creative genius pouring through her that allowed for so much evolution to happen in just one lifetime. Her service to humanity was extraordinary. And in that service, she definitely would come up against the consciousness of others that would say to her, that's not possible. Hathor, that's not possible, but thank you for your vision. Thank you very much, honey. Go on now. So how many of you have felt that at different times in your life where you have this incredible passion or idea about what needs to be brought here to earth, but it may feel really hard to believe in yourself because you don't have the reflection around you that it's actually possible. Hathor is your mentor. In moments like that, she is here to mentor each and every one of us that whatever humanity has deemed impossible is indeed possible through our human experience by following our heart and embodying our higher self. Wherever you want to go in your embodiment, you can. It may take a lot of time or practice or dedication or consecration or all of those things. But with the Ascended Masters, we can do anything, particularly with Hathor. Now, in that journey to accept that the sovereign creator or creatrix is within you, guiding you to what seems like what is impossible to create for yourself, for your community, for your family, or for the world at large. Hathor mentors you step by step with I keep hearing the word dismembering, the shedding of the old skins, the shedding of the old rigid structures that keep you committed to your ancestors' beliefs, or even some of the most advanced spiritual beliefs on the planet can eventually be rendered useless or holding you back. So there's this journey that Hathor is taking you on to assist you with letting go of thousands of years of religion, government, education, your ancestral bloodlines, anything that tells you you can't have it the way you're envisioning it to be in this lifetime. She's helping you just peel that back so that you can touch into the golden life that is within you. And if you're struggling right now in any area of your life and it's really difficult to touch into that golden feeling, I really truly can speak from a place that I know how frustrating that can feel. When you feel as though you can't reach out and experience the golden life that you're dreaming for yourself in real time because you're still moving through the belief systems and the step-by-step decisions of what's going to bring you to that golden life reality. And I know that Hathor, along with Isis, has been two of my most powerful guides for fulfilling the dreams that I have fulfilled and the promises that I have fulfilled up until this point, and that they're going to continue to mentor me and how to expand my consciousness wider and wider to be able to continue to receive more and more of my divine inheritance and live the golden life that I know that I deserve, and I know that you deserve as well. And how that looks and what that looks like is different and unique for each of us, but it is promised that each of us have the highest potential that we can live in this lifetime. And Hathor wants that for you, just like I do, just like all the Ascended Masters do. So with Isis, what we become, there's an interesting difference in how unique Isis and Hathor are. With Isis, she is mentoring us in those nitty-gritty steps of one foot in front of the other, showing up in our businesses, our careers, our families, our ministries, to those very important real-world next steps that keep us grounded, keep us present, and guide us to our very physical real-world success. When Hathor comes in, Hathor works really well with Isis in that energy because she's helping us hold that golden vision that we have for ourselves. She's helping us stay true to the seeds of the visions that we receive from our higher self within our hearts, those passion, those seeds that we are here to spread to create new gardens of life. She's the one that helps us hold the vision of what's calling us forward to tend to garden. And along the journey of holding that golden vision for yourself, there's going to be so many tests, challenges, resistances to what you want. One of the interesting things about the creative journey is, first of all, it's very much fueled by your own intuitive journey, your own intuitive process of listening. So the same principle goes for intuition as creation. When you're hot on the trail of greatness, when you're hot on the trail of something that's just going to change the world, or just change your reality, or create something spontaneously that's so beautiful and life affirming that just simply wasn't there before. In the process of that creation journey or that intuition that you're following, you're probably going to go through moments of doubt, even self-hatred or self-punishment, or just pure confusion about what's happening, as all of the elements come together to reveal themselves as how your creation or your intuition unfolds. So Hathor is an exceptional mentor, and keep in mind that as you're fulfilling your destiny, when you're walking the way towards your destiny, as you're working with the Ascended Masters to fulfill those daily steps of what you're here to show up to in and out of your daily life with your mentor like Isis, to have Hathor holding this vision with you of where you're going. At times it can feel like a mirage, like a mirage in the desert of your journey of faith towards that vision. There's days that you may, curse the sky. How could I have ever believed something so great about myself, or that I could create something so beautiful that it would not just help me, but countless hearts. And Hathor understands what that feels like. She understands how much faith and empowerment is required to continue to hold the vision of your most golden life and decide that I'm going to live that no matter what it takes. Even if it's choosing between two decisions that aren't that great, but that decision is your next step, which then leads to your next decision, which then leads to your next decision. holding that golden vision of yourself, which has truly been given to you as a vision from Sophia God in your heart, is really the Stargate that Hathor is assisting you to open up through your heart, in the belief that you can do, be, or have anything in this lifetime, that you can walk through the journey of your heart to whatever quantum potential is calling you forward. Now, when we tune into that also brings us to the issue, or the interesting thing that Hathor is teaching us about in her chapter about your oversoul. Your oversoul can, almost depending on where you're at in your evolutionary growth, be overextended in certain amounts of lifetimes. So one of the things that we're doing with Hathor, as she's mentoring us in achieving this golden vision for our lives, she's also mentoring us in how to take responsibility for every electron in our body. And that means that every electron in your body is also connected to every electron in all of your bodies across the space-time continuum. And there's certain moments in our life where we start to get that feeling of, I don't know if there's enough of me here to complete what it is that I came here to complete or fulfill or create in my divine feminine Christ or divine masculine Christ embodiment. How do I get from point A to point B when I feel like there's just not enough of me here? Well, when you're feeling that way, it might be that there actually is more of you that needs to return home here to be with you in this, in this human embodiment. Rue's joining us for this transmission. Thanks, Rue. So this is where that 0-point calibration comes in, where we begin to decide through our higher self-consciousness, mentoring with Hathor, which lifetimes do I need to draw upon that can assist me in fully embodying myself in this lifetime? Further, do I need those electrons to no longer exist in that reality, but to be fully present here in this reality and in this human embodiment with me now? So returning back to that consciousness of your body within the pyramid, that golden pyramid of light that you're enjoying the presence of Hathor with. We now welcome Hathor to begin to work over your physical body. And as she does, she's singing with your higher self to those other lifetimes of strength and wisdom and beauty and grace where you have achieved great success, to now begin to return, reabsorb back into this human incarnation that you are here now. And it's almost as though you may see different people that you are show up in the room, they're with you. Or you may just begin to feel these golden waves of light returning to you. In either way, it's that imagery is fine. It may even feel like a feeling that I haven't described. But we welcome your heart to open up as a stargate of light for your oversoul to begin to reabsorb those electrons, that consciousness, those wisdom, that pearls from your other lifetimes that are ready to support you and strengthen you in this lifetime. We also ask that the presence of Hathor and the Hathor Star Nation assist your higher self in ending any lifetimes where you're being abused or harmed for the truth of your light and your love for your light work. In particular, those lifetimes where your voice is being suppressed or muffled. As well as if you are ready to begin to download very high frequency embodiments of yourself that exist in your home star, your star family. If you would like to allow a download of those embodiments that are very active across the cosmos in bringing wisdom and light. You may begin to feel those descend as well. And as you allow your consciousness and your heart, through your heart, to feel that there are other versions of yourself out there in the cosmos, we invite you to feel into how big you are. This is one of the reasons why Hathor's chapter meets us at the beginning of section 2. We can't understand how much we can actually help humanity unless we understand how unlimited and truly just big, just how big you are. You really, we're all the same age. We're all eternal. Doesn't matter how many Earth years you've lived. We're literally all the same age. We're all eternal. We're going on forever and ever and ever. And in that journey of forever, we've been a lot of places. We still are a lot of places. But when your soul's ready to truly step into your divine purpose mission in this lifetime, you need far more of you here, anchored in this physical body, than you would in other lifetimes. Including more of you from the higher realms as well. And Hathor is taking that beautiful Ankh of life that she loves to work with, and it's as though there's this beautiful golden energy that she's radiating over you through the Ankh. It becomes like medicine, filling in those spaces and places within you. It's like this cosmic glue of love, so that you can feel these essences, aspects of your soul returning to, through the Stargate of your heart, returning to your human body, so that you can be integrated in all 4 levels of your being as you receive this much more of yourself today. In an eternity of incarnations, it is quite surprising how much we have to call back to ourselves, how much we have to receive, because there's so much that can get lost along the journey. And so I'm also witnessing the beautiful angel of atonement working with all the Hathor star nations, angels, where they're going out across the universe to ensure that there's any aspects of you along your electrons, your DNA, that you're not aware of, that truly needs to come home now. We ask for your higher self to allow for these angels of atonement to ensure that these pieces come home now for you. And from your heart, we are also dropping to your sacral chakra, where that golden energy and that beautiful mango orange color spectrum, that ray of divine creativity, the beauty way, abundance, prosperity, connection to Divine Mother as the source of all that you're manifesting, to feel that connection in your second chakra, deeply reconnected to your heart and your throat. And if there's ways that you don't feel that money can come to you directly to your second chakra, as well as resources and any kind of like golden network connection that you're ready to receive now. We're also welcoming Hathor and the Hathor Star Nation to begin to upgrade your second chakra as well. And to open, if you're ready for that, your second chakra to open as a stargate for abundance to safely flow through you now. If you are in any toxic relationships where you are being drained financially or emotionally by others, it's really important that you also allow Archangel Michael to come forward and cut those cords for you in this empowerment ceremony with Hathor. And Hathor is guiding us to bring our hands to our second chakra and to our throats at the same time. And to feel, you may tone if you wish this moment, just to feel the resonance of your throat, those vibrations coming off of your throat and into your hands. And they travel down your arm, past your elbow, up your shoulder, and into your heart. And from your heart, those resonant tones can move all the way down to your second chakra. And when you have your hands there, it may feel as though, wow, my second chakra, my sacral chakra, and my throat chakra are so far away from each other. And yet they're so important to one another. And there is a golden bridge of light and sky blue light that's being built as a column between these two chakras right now. And you may feel your wings kind of unfurl out of the back of your heart as this column of light is welcoming the consciousness of prosperity, prosperity that you speak and prosperity that you embody, prosperity that you allow yourself to receive, and the prosperity that you allow yourself to generously give. And how there is a figure 8 flow between your throat and your sacral chakra. And Hathor is inviting you to, we're going to say a couple affirmations and just notice if they trigger you, okay? They trigger any feelings for you that are challenging. So we're going to use some I am that statements, which are really, really powerful statements for commanding your awareness to remember that you are actually divine and therefore deserve to receive a divine inheritance and to embody your divine inheritance. So we can begin with, the first one I'm hearing is, I am rich. I am that. So practice saying, let's do that together. I am rich. I am that. And feeling what it feels like to hear that word rich and that you are rich. You could be rich in anything. Notice if there's a judgment about if it's connected to money. So we could say, I am rich in money. I am that. Wow, what does that bring up for you there? In this reality, so much of what is created through the consciousness of money flowing in and out of your life, right? So if you were to use the power of your voice to start affirming, I am wealthy, I am rich, money comes to me easily, I am a magnet for money consciousness. It is safe for me to steward large amounts of money arising from the womb space within me, flowing out from my heart into this world that I wish to bless, and also receiving the blessing from my generosity flowing back to me. Those are very powerful statements. Those are very powerful ideas. Those are very powerful blessings upon yourself and others. But if you are still wrestling with vows or oaths or just judgments about money or prosperity, notice when you go to judge or project upon others how they are living or what they've received or what they're doing with their own relationship with prosperity. And turn your eyes back upon yourself and ask yourself, well, what have I been willing to command through the power of my voice? And what have I been willing to receive through my second chakra? So that I may be a true divine feminine, divine masculine Christ embodiment with the ability to bless and create in absolute sovereignty. So when we're talking about absolute sovereignty, we're also talking about right livelihood with yourself and others. It's the ability to know, it's the consciousness of knowing that everything that you need can be commanded through your voice, through your ability to follow through on where your voice is taking you intuitively, and your ability to receive and to give that which is your dharma to receive and to give in this lifetime, which often involve your skills, gifts, and talents being expressed creatively in this lifetime, serving a greater good. One of the amazing illustrations, I guess I don't know if that's the right word, but one of the amazing wisdoms, thank you, that we can enjoy in the presence of Hathor is that her ministry was contagious because she was so devout to serving the empowerment of not just her people, but to all peoples that came to be initiated by her. She didn't hold back on what she was teaching people to do for themselves in their own empowerment. And Hathor's service was, first of all, came from such a truly creative and curious place from within her to be in communion with herself. But as she experienced such ecstatic, electrostatic bliss with herself, you'll find in your ascension work that the better and better you feel, the more and more that you wish for everyone to feel that same bliss or love or healing or joy that you have access to. You enjoy the blessings of it, but the blessings are so good, it's like you want to share the nectar. And part of sharing that nectar is teaching others how to, or embodying for others, or however it is that you're offering that example of what it looks like, is allowing yourself to in some way be in service to the greater good. That's when if as long as you are truly being in balance with yourself in that journey, that's where true success begins to amplify. That's where that golden light frequency begins to come in. It's when you become so in tune with, I am in such a blissful relationship with my own source that there's nothing else to do but to serve others in that same connection to their own source. And it's a really pure offering. It comes from a really pure love. And that it's not about, well, I need to pay my rent and I need to buy groceries and I'd really want to do it by doing it what I love. So I guess somehow I'll figure out this spiritual business or whatever. And all of that's really great. There's nothing wrong with it. But the kind of success, the kind of golden success that Hathor is teaching about is when you tap into that extraordinary innocence and love that you have for yourself, that's overflowing for others. When that's guiding you and you're offering, that's what's truly magnetic to success and to wealth. Because it's magnetizing so much of that Christ consciousness. And Christ consciousness is, it's always self-fulfilling. It's always self-regenerating. It's always not just planting the seeds, but nurturing the seeds and growing the garden and tending to the garden. It's a consciousness that's never impoverished. It's a consciousness that is truly a wealth consciousness in every way that you could think of wealth and well-being. The true love and the true purpose of your heart is actually meant to guide you to great wealth, to great well-being, to great prosperity, if those first two words are challenging to hear. But most people, when they're being guided in those directions, what happens is you have to be willing to give up your old judgments about money and spirituality, about wealthy people and poor people, and all of these ideas that we have in place from society over the past 1,000 years. You have to be willing to relinquish what you think you know so that you can be guided into the prosperity consciousness that is the divine feminine Christ consciousness that wants the best for everyone, especially you. So if it's easy to bless others, and if it's been easy to speak blessings over others and to wish others their success, but really challenging to give this to yourself, that's what Hathor is coming in to mentor in with this golden light consciousness. More life for you, but make it a good life. May it be a blessed life for you. May it be a life of beauty. May it be a life of peace. That's not to say we won't have our challenges for growing into the most magnificent versions of ourselves. But it does mean that we are supported. It does mean that we are gathering with like-minded individuals that have been drawn and magnetized to us, that seek to bring this much blessing and goodness to the planet as well. So when we're journeying through these key codes, Isis is helping us re-identify that our foundation and our root chakra comes from the very source, comes from Sophia God herself, comes from the Holy Mother, that is our true foundation. That is the origin of our truest lineage. It's that one Sophia Christ light, which frees us from a lot of tribal or community expectations, social conditionings, and puts us on a path of strength and connection to the earth, of all of the things that we're here to embody for creating right livelihood and choosing to put ourselves first, as well as being in service to others. Now with Hathor, in that second chakra, she's elevating our consciousness to, okay, don't just survive in that journey, thrive. Thrive. May every moment be more heavenly than the next. Attune, right, with those sky cow horns, attune yourself like antennas to that beautiful Sophia Christ light that seeks to magnetize all of the blessings and goodness and golden network, and yes, wealth and new opportunities, to feel your personal sovereignty and freedom in your relationship to others. If you've gone through a period in your life where you felt dependent on, in essence, we've all gone through it on some level in childhood. In childhood, we're dependent on the financial resources of our parents to ensure that we eat, or our caretakers to ensure that there's a roof over our heads. And there can be other times as well where we find ourselves dependent upon others that may be challenging for us, or even codependent and unhealthy. And in that space, you get to experience what it feels like to temporarily explore life where you're not experiencing the fullness of your sovereignty, the fullness of your true divinity, completely free to make any choice that is right for you. And I'd like to invite everyone in the curriculum in this moment, with the presence of Hathor, here guiding our consciousness. To explore what it would feel like to live without any limits at all. Even if you are currently in a very well-to-do financial position, there's literally always the next tier of unlimited experience that you can have on this planet and beyond. And that can be not just in your bank accounts, but physically with your health, with your relationships. What would it feel like where every single person that you engaged with, you felt fully whole within yourself, fully grounded within yourself, completely fulfilled within yourself, and that what was flowing from you was always the most amazing gift from your heart to somebody else's heart. And this deep equilibrium, this prosperous embodiment, at any moment, you could pick up the phone, you could get on your computer, you could go anywhere at any time to fulfill any creative calling or creative vision, to make things happen that you truly, deeply seek to create or author or initiate or heal or empower from your heart to humanity's heart, or for the planet, or for animals. What if everything that came to you as a vision, you could say, yes, it's time to create that now. Yes, it's time to empower this cause now. Yes, it's time to write that check now to save this species or this land or build that temple or start this business because this is what I believe in. And not only have the resources to fund things like that, but also an excess of regenerative energy to nurture and care for those creations in the world. What's so interesting about Hathor, that there's only so much that we could go into with just her chapter, that we'll go so much deeper into with her book, is that she was tending to all of her temples and to all of her teachers and all of her priests and priestesses with so much love and presence in her heart. Because she had accessed so much multidimensional power in her human form, not only could she bilocate to the Sirius star system and be teaching there and here simultaneously, she could also be teaching at multiple temples simultaneously here on the earth plane. Now, that's dividing and conquering. She wasn't just creating movements and temples that she just had to like put into the hands of other people and hope for the best. She was actually showing up to actually be able to tend to those creations in real time. And this could even be applicable in mentoring. Like, how are you even at this time balancing your business or your career with your family life, and with fulfilling the interests, the creative desires of your heart? There is so much energy available to us within our bodies through the Kundalini energy, through our communion with Sophia God, through our communion with our higher self, that so much more can be accomplished in our lifetime than we give ourselves credit for. Often when we have great dreams in our heart and our second chakra that we want to speak into form, speak into reality, there's a little bit of this, or sometimes a whole lot of unconscious resistance, because we wonder, unconsciously we know, oh my God, if I receive that much money, if I make this creation, if I choose to receive this much information from the Ascended Masters or my higher self or the archangels or any of your guides, you're now responsible for that information, and you're responsible for doing something awesome with it. Okay? And when we're responsible for doing something awesome with what we're receiving guidance to do, there's a train in the background, if you can hear that. There's a train that goes through Mount Shasta every few hours. What happens is that people can become unconsciously afraid of success because it can be a lot to manage. But with Hathor as your mentor, she can help awaken those Kiko 2 attributes within you, where you can almost start to feel as though you're working in multiple dimensional realities on multiple planes of existence simultaneously, because you are, because your higher self is. And further, that there will be other people that want to, like we've said again and again, other light workers in this world that want to co-create heaven on earth with you, that can come together with you and begin to co-create with you as though you are all moving as one golden dragon body of light to tend to those creations with you, if they are going to be much bigger than just what one person can handle. But often when we are in our creator creatrix mode and we wonder, well, if I create this, or if I become a part of this, will I be overwhelmed and feel as though all of the responsibility is on myself? Or will I make the wrong decisions? And then we'll almost stop ourselves from receiving the blessings, from receiving the guidance, from taking those next steps forward, because unconsciously we're just like, yeah, I don't know if I can handle that. Better to just stay comfortable. Better to stay where I know where. There's a book called The Big Leap. And so it could be better to stay in my zone of excellence. He talks about in his book, the zone of excellence versus the zone of your creative genius. The zone of your creative genius, no matter what you're being guided to as your personal mission, will always guide you to live in an offering that's going to continually bring you into vulnerable spaces, where you get to feel yourself stretching and expanding. And in that stretching and expanding, guess where you go? You go where you don't know who you are temporarily, and there's things that you don't know how to do. Boom. It's just like that. Every time you expand, this is a new version of yourself that you've never met before. You don't know who that person is yet. You're going to get to know that person in that expansion if you're loving and kind to yourself, but you don't necessarily know her or him yet. Same thing with what is required in your expansion. There may be things that you don't know how to do yet. And that could be with whether you're working with someone or for someone, or you're working for yourself. It doesn't matter. In those expansive moments, there's this, I don't know how to do what fill in the blank needs to be done for this expansion to continue to expand and integrate and become a part of a foundation of prosperity for whatever it is that you're creating or co-creating with others. So that vulnerable journey of expansion, Hathor mentors us in, okay, well, let's remember there's an entire universe within you that's always expanding. You're literally in a human body in a universe that's always expanding. Why would you be any different? And in that journey of expansion, she's assuring us we want to expand into our own magnificence. We don't want to contract and stay small. And she mentors us in how to be really graceful with ourselves. I do want to say compassionate with ourselves, because it's true. She's a very compassionate being. But there's the word grace continues to be transmitted through me of, she guides us to these graceful equations, these perfect equations where we get to find out how much we can resource the divinity within us for every solution that we are seeking through that expansion, as well as to resource that divinity within us to cover ourselves in the mantle of our own empowerment. You could think about Hathor as this energy, this golden dragon energy that just laughs in the face of challenges and obstacles, because she knows, she talks about this in her electrostatic bliss, that both the challenging situations that could have potentially really been really hard for her to experience, maybe brought up anger or fear or anxiety or resentment or unforgiveness temporarily, but to her soul, she experienced it as blissful, because her soul would just expand so far out with every feeling that was tracking her growth and her consciousness stepping into unknown places within her, which then allowed all of these other people around her, right? All of the initiates around her that eventually became the Hathor Star Nation. She walked them through all their own fears and their own anxieties and their own hard feelings about being unlimited divine beings that could create mystery schools and live in multiple places simultaneously and in multiple bodies simultaneously. So here we have exceptional divine feminine Christ teachings being transmitted to us from Hathor, where yes, you're going to feel always vulnerable and uncomfortable as you expand into the truth of the unlimited divine nature that you are. Further, the more that you're able to stabilize in that grace, those elegant equations, understanding, wow, I am literally a being built on perfect, elegant equations of the universe, between my electrons, between the fact that I'm resonating with crystalline chromosomes within my body that can literally build a bridge of light to my biological DNA, that there is this strength and presence and persistence of my higher self flowing through me, that I'm being mentored by Hathor to download in ever increasing measure, to choose the gift, the ankh of life, more life, but not just anything, the golden life, to choose that for yourself. What happens is that your divine feminine and your divine masculine Christ embodiment literally becomes a container of consciousness that other people can begin to experience as a temple, as a sanctuary, as a creative laboratory for what is actually possible for themselves. They witness that you are willing to go into unlimited spaces and places within you and hang out in those uncomfortable spaces within the container of your consciousness. And as they come closer and closer to vibrate in resonance with your vibrational reality, that, well, I might be scared, but I'm not going to allow fear to prevent me from becoming more and more golden in my embodiment, more and more seen, more and more creative, more and more present, more and more expansive. What begins to happen is that energy becomes so magnetic, you begin to literally pull people with you in that magnetism. Literally begin to draw others with you with the amount of light that you're anchoring within your own human embodiment. You become irresistible. Hathor was irresistible. Usually people with a golden energy are. And the reason for that is because she had so much love. And so she dedicated all of her success to the success of everyone that she came in contact with. Not in a pity party of, I'm so sorry that, this is, there was of course the compassion, but through that empowered light of, I know this is within you because I have found it within myself. And no matter what your challenges are, I know that there's a pathway through so that you may find the same golden light, the same golden temple of your own consciousness within you. One of the interesting things that happens when you become a leader or a teacher or a healer in this consciousness is that your psychic senses open up a great deal, and you can become very sensitive to the projections or judgments or challenging thoughts that others may have about what you're inviting them into. So you may begin to feel, as others look at you, oh, well, how is it possible that she's doing that, or he's doing that, but I can't find that within myself yet? That makes me feel angry, or that makes me feel left behind, or abandoned by God, or not good enough for my own divine inheritance. These are very natural feelings that come up in the human condition. Nobody has to be wrong about it. It's just what happens when suffering is still unraveling. So one of the reasons why Hathor is such an exceptional key code mentor for us in the Sophia Code is she's here to help you and I mentor ourselves that it's safe to receive our personal success and shine like a star. I mean, she didn't just ascend a multiple star system. She ascended directly into that Sirius C portal, which there was the 3 stars, but with Sirius C ascending with Karnak, so you have Sirius A and B, but in essence, they really act as like a twin soul star system. So it's almost as though when I tune into the energy of Sirius, it just feels like this soul star. I'm not saying it is just one star. I'm just saying that's how it feels. And there's that solitary energy of this one blazing star when I feel into the word Sirius. And really what that represents when we're working with Sirian teachings is the path of personal excellence, the path of your own self-mastery. And we talked about this in the Hathor Immersive. We touched into this about this golden light energy that is often associated with people that truly rise above and allow themselves to be seen in whatever profession that they let themselves be seen in. It doesn't have to be just spirituality. It doesn't have to be just the performing arts. It could be in any profession. When people take to the podium, when people step up in front of an audience, when people create something, they write a book, or they achieve a new paper or concept that's presented to a group of scholars, or ascend a political position, or in sciences, it doesn't really matter, but they're willing to reveal the creative genius that wants to pour through them, and they allow themselves to be seen. Not just to be seen for what they've discovered, but to also, in that light of being seen, they open themselves up to the ridicule and projections and judgments of others that may not wish them well because they haven't experienced their own success or personal peace yet about what they're here to do. So Hathor and the Hathor Star Nation are exceptional mentors and angelic guides for surrounding you in the grace of their beautiful golden light, and assuring you that it is safe for you to rise and be seen in whatever offering, however you are serving, that you can be acknowledged, you can receive gratitude for your offering, you can receive acknowledgement, you can receive honor, you can receive gratitude, you can receive prosperity, you can receive I'm not even sure what it is. It's just this universal, what's on the tip of my tongue is just this universal embrace, right? The accolades of your guides and your ancestors saying, yes, thank you. This is why I incarnated in the Middle Ages, was to ensure that one day your soul would be here, enjoying and making the most of this opportunity to be of service to humanity, this divine feminine, during this divine feminine Christ movement. So that might not be the easiest. Notice if it's challenging. Let's just take a moment with Hathor. I'm feeling her arms behind each of us, very much like this picture where she has her hands up like this. And let's feel Hathor behind the back of your heart, allowing that golden white light energy from Hathor to begin to fill out the back of your heart, and also bless your solar plexus, your sacral chakra, and your root chakra, that it's safe to receive the acknowledgement, the accolades, the honor of being seen as a star here on earth. Truly, there's starlight coming from your soul through your human embodiment, and whatever you're here to offer. And you may begin to feel as Hathor relieves you of some of the fears of being projected upon or judged for your success. may begin to feel different unconscious fears about that releasing from the back of your head or through your crown. And as you release, I welcome all of those things to go directly to the Sophia Source Light, where it is instantly dissolved with love and forgiveness. And I'm witnessing Hathor begin to sing over your crown chakra with your higher self, descending a download. What I'm hearing is unconditional self-confidence. Through your crown, through your third eye, down your throat, filling your heart, descending over your solar plexus. It may feel like this golden yellow light descending now through your sacral chakra and your root chakra. And just breathing into those energetic shifts that Hathor is blessing you and I with. And we did this in immersive, and I'd really like to welcome each and every one of us back to this practice. We talked about this golden version of ourselves in 5 years from now. I don't know about you, but over the past few years, a week has started to feel like a year's worth of evolution happens within a week, and a day can feel like a month. I mean, our relationship with time is truly changing in this at the gateway of this next golden age, and that's a good thing. Quantum, you can actually bend time if you're willing to remain focused upon what your intention is for bending time. So what can happen as we practice bending time is that so much more can be accomplished in the span of this one lifetime. And that's what happened for Hathor. What would look like 1,000 years was a single lifetime for her and the Hathors, because they were so attuned to how to bend time. And Mount Shasta is actually an excellent teacher for that as well. So I'd like to practice that together, because the truth is that living a golden successful life actually does, as Isis mentors us, take chapters of our life to fulfill specific steps and promises that we made to ourselves along the way, to integrate them and then take the time to step into the next round of risk taking and birthing and creating and nurturing to the chapters of those next gardens. So bending time, here's how you can bend time. First of all, if you're interested in bending time on a regular basis, you want to minimize how many clocks you have in your house. Or if there's times where you want to experience like a real classroom of what it's like to bend time, don't wear a watch, because it can really hold you in place. So to that time space continuum. So if you want to practice, like say you're in a rush to get somewhere, here's what you do, but you need to fulfill all these things in between. You can look at the point of time that you're actually at, and then you track in your mind, okay, in 1 hour from now, I have this many things that need to happen in this 1 hour. And you hand it over to your higher self, and you command, or you ask, and you say, hey, I need you to literally bend time for me. I need to step into the time beyond time, into that quantum space where I can get all of these things done within 1 hour, and then put the clock away. And you'll begin to intuitively feel, or you could have somebody else tracking it for you, but you can begin to feel where you're starting to approach that 1 hour without even looking at the clock. And what happens is you drop into complete presencing with the present moment. If you've got one eye on where you're at, or one eye on where you're supposed to go, you can't really bend time. It's this process of opening the stargate of your heart and the stargate of your mind to say, okay, I've got 1 hour to make all of these things happen. How can I become so present? It's almost like a slow motion. It's so present to every little breath and task that is here for me to do within 1 hour. And then what you'll find is, as soon as you look at the clock again on the other side of that hour, it's as though everything goes woo, and almost speeds back up, because you're re-entering that time-space continuum energy. So when you are becoming a quantum creator, you are invited to explore through absolute presencing how that absolute presence in the present moment, how your continual practice to being so present to what you're doing actually opens up a stargate where so much more of what you're here to do can happen in a much shorter amount of time. And what's so interesting, Hathor is saying, is time, loosening yourself up from the grip of time as though you feel as though you're controlled by time, is the first step for you to begin to open up your mind to the fact that you can actually travel across multiple timelines and affect those different realities, which can then bring blessings to you here. But the first step is to learn how to just become truly present within a certain amount of time, to show your consciousness that you're not bound by those parameters of time. That so much more can happen beyond your understanding, especially if you're truly present and in prayer with your higher self about what's possible. I get emails from people about the Hathor chapter, say, is this even possible in this lifetime? Could we even do half of these things? The answer is yes. But if you're not willing to explore how unlimited you can be in a single hour with just like something you have to accomplish on the earth plane, how are you ever going to believe that you can be in Sirius and on earth simultaneously? It requires so much practicing of presence, dropping so deeply present into your human experience, no matter how many feelings that you have about it, that you start to discover, oh, time has no hold over me. Actually, what you can also discover within that exploration of bending time is you can create more time for yourself. Just like we created more space for ourselves. And I think it was a class like 4 or 5 classes ago, where we talked about the unlimited amount of space that we can create for ourselves through our higher selves commanding it to be so. But you can also do this with time as a sovereign creator. You can begin to command, I need more time. I need more presence. I need this amount of things to happen within this period of time. And if more needs to happen, I need more time to be created to fulfill that. And just notice how your heart begins to open as a stargate of what's possible. Oh my gosh, she's finally getting it. She's no longer bound by the time-space continuum. What a relief. Your heart will rejoice in electroecstatic bliss that you're loosening the grip of these mental ideas and projections upon your reality that actually have nothing to do with the unlimited divine nature of your soul. And don't get me wrong, time is very helpful in the sense of like a calendar where you mark something on a calendar and say, on this date and this time, I'm being guided that this is supposed to happen. But in your journey to that marker along a quantum timeline of reality, you can choose any way to get from point A to point B. And so the more that you begin to drop into, well, how much can I create between now and then? Which then could actually affect what's happening here in a really amazing way by being so present to what I'm creating between then. It takes us off that linear map and it literally drops us into the ocean of potential of how we're going to drive the spaceship to get to that marker point on the calendar. So, and this is something that we explored in the immersive. If you have a container, if you're teaching spirituality or actually if you're teaching anything, if you're facilitating a container where there's a lot of information that wants to be shared within a very specific amount of time, ask somebody to be the timekeeper for you, where you're not tracking the time yourself, because that's going to take you out of the absolute presence of what you can offer. If you're allowed to be fully present to your offering, you're literally opening up that stargate of potential of everything can somehow be fit into here. I don't know how, but it will. And I ask for my higher self to bring it forth for the highest and best good at all, just as it's meant to be offered. And that person is helping you track that timeline, but you're not actually doing it. And they're just giving you little notices. Okay, you have 30 more minutes, 10 more minutes, 5 more minutes. Watch what happens to your consciousness. Your consciousness can truly let go and allow all that wants to flow through you to flow through you according to an omniscient intelligence that knows, oh, she wants this to happen within only 2 hours. Got it. Well, we'll make sure that this is spoken this way, that these things happen in this order, and that it's all orchestrated by grace. Again, that word grace with Hathor. There's so much grace in the elegant equations of the universe if we're willing to let go of how we limit ourselves to reality and the time-space, the linear time-space continuum is a major way that we limit ourselves. You've got to turn that game around and make time your chess piece, not allow you to be the chess piece for time. And, you know, it's a journey. I got to explore a lot of this week here about Shasta. You know, it's a lot. Time bending is a lot of practice and commitment to, especially when the rubber hits the road and the pressure is on to shine or to be available at specific times, and you have a lot creating and a lot going on, a lot of family obligations, or you're with your business and you're just wondering, how is this all going to get done? It's the presence. It's opening the stargate of your heart, and it's saying, I know that the omniscient intelligence of my higher self and Sophia God is going to come through me if I open up to that unlimited divinity within me that is unbound by the time-space continuum to flow through me, so that I can arrive at those markers on my calendar exactly how it needs to happen. For people who are control freaks, this can really freak you out. There's a lot of trust and faith involved in learning how to co-create with the universe with a true divine feminine intuitive presencing to what's arising in the field to be presenced with as you are bending time. You can continually doubt yourself that it's real. And so part of what Hathor mentors us in as well, with that download of self-confidence that unconditional self-confidence that we receive from her, is the willingness to believe in ourselves as much as we can along the way. Excuse me. there are so many opportunities to doubt yourself along the way, especially when you are exploring moving beyond suffering and moving beyond just surviving, and you start to step into success and thriving in any area of your life that you were previously felt victimized by or just not really empowered in. As you start to take steps of success and embodying more and more strength and confidence and even more money and more connections, it's amazing how much that can come forward to where you might begin to feel like you're doubting yourself and your intuition. Is this okay? What are my friends and family going to think about me if I start to experience more success, more wealth, more happiness, more peace, while they're still struggling? So Hathor is assuring us in her mentorship, if not you, who? If not now, when? When are you going to be willing to embrace that you deserve all of the good that you are for you? And in your embracing of that much goodness for yourself, you are becoming the living embodiment for others to realize, wow, how does she or how does he accomplish so much in such a little amount of time? It's because you love yourself enough to unhook yourself from all of the projections and judgments about a physical reality that you think you know, and then step into the unlimited divine universe, that reality within you, and begin to work your manifestations, allow the creations of your heart, open the stargates within your life from that unlimited universe within you, and not expecting the outer reality to do that for you. Outer physical reality is going to bend according to that all-powerful creatrix or creator within you. What you're choosing to very vulnerably step yourself into in a new way by commanding what it is that you want to command moving forward in your life, or ask for, or pray for, however you go about it. What you're willing to confidently receive from the blessings of your own divine nature, speaking it through your own tongue and your own voice on your behalf. In Hathor, there is no victimhood. There is only the resolute, empowered, sovereign creatrix or creator that lives within you, abiding upon the throne of your I Am presence, on the seat of your own sacred heart, co-creating the unlimited universe of Sophia God that literally exists as your oversoul, stuffed into an itty-bitty little human body. What a miracle. What a miracle you are. I remember when I built my first altar to Hathor, I was very intimidated by her. I was very intimidated by the Hathor Star Nation. I knew that they were a really big deal. I knew that they had a really big message for humanity. And when they asked me to really dive into their chapter, their initiation came first. I mean, even their initiation was so startling for me that I had to visit quantum mechanics and make myself familiar with the electron. I thought for sure, well, it's Hathor. So, my limited time space understanding of this reality, my human awareness thought, well, Hathor's activation or her initiation is going to bring us into all of these vocal sounds, right? Or activating our throat chakra. Instead, she brings us on this quantum journey into our own DNA and literally starts walking us through nucleotides. And it was so intimidating to me as a channel to approach that material. And yet she was guiding me to understand that it was safe to embrace both the sacred mathematics and the sacred sciences of the beauty way to express and empower the fullness of our human experience. That all the languages of God are the expression of the beauty way and essential in our empowerment. And the way that she presented it with how beautiful she was created this just such an empowered beauty way embodiment that had such a musculature and intelligence. It's like that the woman that you see in the you know, sitting in that Harvard University classroom, and she's absolutely gorgeous, and she's also like top of the class. That's the energy of Hathor. Just there's no apology for not only the beauty of her body, but the beauty of her mind and the beauty of her speech and the beauty of her creations as an artist, the beauty of how she connects community members with one another by truly embodying her divinity and not apologizing for it. She was a rock star, and she still is a rock star and of the spiritual world. And I remember building that first altar. I hadn't channeled the initiation yet. I hadn't channeled the chapter yet, but I knew by building that altar that I was calling it forward into this dimensional reality. I was opening a Stargate for information to flow through from Hathor and the Hathor Star Nation for humanity. And I'll never forget building that altar, because everything, first of all, the altar was very simple. At that time, she wanted me to see very clear equations of how pyramids were placed on that altar, as well as where her image went, as well as any other items that were on that altar. There was a very clear, specific purpose down to a literally millicentimeter of measurement of where everything was supposed to be precisely placed. And it happened within like 8 broad strokes of putting the altar together. There wasn't any thought about it. It was just direct, perfect orders of how the altar was to be built. There wasn't any hemming and hawing about it. And I stepped back from the altar and it was perfect. And I thought to myself, but it should be so much harder than this. And don't I get a say in any of this? Seeing as this is an altar that I'm looking at in my own house day in and day out. And they're like, no, not really. If you want the perfect Stargate for us to come through exactly as we are attempting to mentor and teach your consciousness, you'll leave it exactly as it is, because we've perfectly guided you and you were willing to listen, even with all your hard feelings about it, that it could be this easy. It could be this elegant, and it could empower you this much to hear us. And what that was the beginning of a mentoring journey with was, wow, Hathor is truly mentoring me and allowing myself to be that powerful, where everything in my life can become an elegant equation of grace. We don't have to fumble through life. We can, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's one way of learning, but in a quantum universe, there's 1,000 ways to learn the same thing. And so Hathor is this exceptional mentor. Do you want to learn the golden way? Do you want to learn with the masters? The golden ray of wisdom on the spectrum of wisdoms is the ray of mastery. So when you're mentoring with Hathor, you're saying, okay, I might have all my feelings about being a creative master on the earth plane, but you've got my number. Show me the way. Show me how to do this without apologizing for it. Show me how to do this by celebrating it. Show me how to be a creative genius in any part of my life, even how I clean my house or drive my car or buy my groceries impeccably. Show me how to do that in a way that no matter how anybody gets jealous about it, I'm still going to show up and do it anyways. Yeah. And in that embodiment, you become an invitation for everyone to experience that golden ray of wisdom for their own excellence to shine here in the earth plane. It's an invitation that's not really extended that often here on earth, an invitation to excellence. We generally have invitations to mediocrity currently on this planet, or worse. An invitation to excellence is an invitation to be seen. It's an invitation to be intuitive. It's an invitation to be vulnerable. It's an invitation to practice who you are and how things can always be done in better and better ways without judgment about it. More and more beautiful ways that honor you and honor your heart, honor your mission, and honor those that you love, which also by default honors your enemies and strangers, people you don't even know yet, and actually clears the path for the wonderful people that want to live in excellence with you to come forward and explore that excellence together. So the elegant equation of being you. This is the invitation that Hathor is mentoring you and I in this journey through June. And I invite you to notice the places and spaces within your life that you have felt an accelerated, fiery energy to transform and to try new things, or to try the same things in different ways, or to also accelerate certain practices that you know do work as a perfect formula, but how you can show up to those practices even better. The presence of the Hathor Star Nation, because they are these wheels within wheels of light, these Ophamine angels, you may feel very fiery in their presence. They often activate that Kundalini energy at the base of your spine to rise up as a Holy Spirit fire throughout your body, which cleanses and purifies your attachments to how things should be, so that you can open your consciousness for your awareness to receive how it can be for you. So be aware that that heat does accompany that golden light. They're saying it's an alchemical transmission when you call them in. Every time you call in the Hathor Star Nation, you're calling in change. You're calling in their alchemy so that you can fire up your body and your consciousness to accept the journey of excellence that you're on in ways that you never dreamed possible. They're also reminding me that the more that you personally activate yourself, and the more that we continue to gather as a community, and this is why the immersive experience was so important, is that as we gather and there will be more, and we will have many more offerings in 2018 as well. As we talked about in the immersive, we have plans to build temples for the Sophia Code in multiple locations around the United States, because we just started the Sophia Code Foundation. But what they're saying is that the more we can explore, even if you're just meeting with people in your area, of what it's like to co-create together. And it could be something even fun, like just co-creating an altar, or a night of meditation, or a meal together. And the more that you start to notice when you call on the Hathor Star Nation, notice all the ways that you begin to speak mind to mind to one another through telepathy. Or notice how one person picks up something exactly when the other person is asking for it. And there's this incredible synergy between two people completing a task in far less time. Notice how amazing it is when everyone is so in tune and so intuitive that words don't even have to be used to express what needs to happen. Notice when you gather with other light workers that are attuning to themselves to this energy, how a vision that's so much bigger than what you could have just with yourself, a creative vision or any kind of personal expression becomes that much more richly layered and textured and even more beautiful when that one body of Sophia Christ is co-creating together. And what the Hathor Star Nation is offering as a message about this is, do not despair. The personal activations, the personal initiations that are taking place over these next few years are preparing many light workers across this planet for learning how to open the stargates for interstellar communication, direct communion with your family of light from the star nations. It's all going to happen in a perfect timing, according to a divine will that truly wants all of the species in this universe to be in harmony and communion with one another through the love of Sophia God. We're not meant to be separate from our family of light. Humanity's self-imposed darkness upon its own collective consciousness is going to lift. We are in the process of doing that right now with the Sophia Code, by activating the divine genome, especially Kiko 2 within us, that will allow for us to open these interstellar doors and have conversations with our family of light that would have seemed impossible in previous decades. They're saying, do not give up hope. Meet with us on the inner planes through meditation, mentoring with us, mentoring with Hathor, so that as you achieve greater and greater levels of personal self-mastery and sovereignty in every aspect of your life, meeting a Hathor in person or someone from Telos coming out from inside the mountain in the physical just wouldn't be shocking. It wouldn't be a problem. However, everybody wonders, well, why hasn't it happened yet? Why hasn't the spaceship landed on my front door and, taken me back home? Well, first of all, if that happened, you wouldn't fulfill the mission that you came here, that you made a promise to fulfill to humanity. It takes a great deal of self-mastery to have those kind of direct interactions and still decide to stay here. A lot of light workers that commit suicide and leave their life prematurely have ecstatic experiences with different beings that bring them into heights of communion, but then they come back into this plane of reality and it's too hard for them to be here. So because emotionally they've touched into, well, I felt so close to my family of light. How could I ever live back in my human experience? Notice when you come out of meditation, that might be a thing. Notice when you connect deeply with an ascended master through your journaling or through a key code initiation, that you experience this really high state of consciousness, and then you come back and, maybe you end up in a fight with your husband, or your kids screaming, or, your dog just threw up on your kitchen floor on your brand new white rug. I don't know. It's like, it's really jarring to go from that communion with really high level beings back to the nitty gritty, chop wood, carry water reality of being human. And so for us to have a direct physical interstellar communion experiences, physical experiences with our star family, you've got to have the tenacity and the willpower to stay here and complete your mission, if that is also going to be included in your life. 99.9% of the time, you're just going to want to jump on that spaceship and go home. I know personally, through my own personal experiences with the Star Nations, how my interaction with them has made it profound. Like, one of the greatest practices of my life is to stay here in human form and to continue this work with the Codex. It's a daily prayer. It's a daily prayer to live in this much communion with the Ascended Masters and still do my human life. It's real. That's a real thing. It's okay if you have a lot of feelings about not wanting to be here. Hathor is your lady. The Hathor Star Nation can be wonderful comforts and guides in that process of choosing to bring that energy here and committing to your personal excellence, so that you become the anchored, embodied transmission of those energies. for all of those people who wouldn't even know how to connect with those kind of masters of light or those star nations. Eventually, as you connect with the star nations, as you connect with this golden light of Hathor within you through a daily practice, it does become easier to simply be this wonderfully evolved, truly dynamic, almost like otherworldly creature within your human life here. In essence, very much like Hathor, having your own Hathorian embodiment, if your own key code 2 embodiment, shall we say, where people can tell you're not from here, but you're still in human form, showing them the possibilities of your interstellar roots and the lineage of your family of light that is continually surrounding you and blessing you from above and journeying with you to make the way ahead easier for you. So Hathor is also a mentor for us as starseeds, which many of us are. Or I've also found that most initiates in the Sophia Code are either starseeds or tend to incarnate on the surface of the earth while their family of light is originating from the inner earth civilizations, which is a whole other teaching and conversation to have. But here at Mount Shasta, the city of light, Telos, that exists within the center of Mount Shasta would be a phenomenal example of an inner earth civilization that you may feel deeply connected to as a light worker. It might feel far more at home to be within the earth than on the surface of the earth. And so at this time, we'd like to offer these final closing moments with Hathor, just blessing your embodiment and blessing your starseed lineage and your family of light, whether coming from inner earth or other parts of the universe that you are connected to, that in your communion with Hathor and in your communion with the Hathor Star Nation, you are being mentored in how to enjoy to the best of your ability. You don't always have to like it, but there are moments where you can really enjoy what it's like to be so present here within physical reality as a human that you learn how to bend the laws of time, that you begin to learn how to bend the laws that govern your physical body to be able to shapeshift or bilocate. These are all, or telekinesis, these are all gifts that are innate to the human body that one day you may feel safe enough or comfortable enough to truly explore for yourself. So at this time, Hathor is sending out her final blessing to every initiate in the curriculum, across the space-time continuum and beyond. You may feel your heart opening, like a whirling golden wheel of light, surrounded by thousands of angel wings and eyes that sing, holy, holy, holy. Holy Sophia God is all there is. And in Hathor's presence, you may begin to feel those winged serpents arising from the base of your spine, meeting at each of your chakras as they climb the tree of life within you. Beautiful white dragon energy opening their mouths at your crown. And you may feel a Hathor crown, that sky cow crown, descending over your crown chakra. This is a key code 2 Stargate transmission, where your crown chakra is becoming attuned to your star family, to your star of origin. That may include the star at the center of the earth, if that is where home is for you. The star at the center of Mount Shasta. And we welcome that beautiful light of Sophia God, pouring as a waterfall of Sophia Christ consciousness through your sky cow crown now, through your crown chakra, descending over your face, down the back of your head, sealing these initiations and empowerments. This beautiful white waterfall of light flowing over your tongue, consecrating your tongue to the power of the Holy Spirit of your higher self, speaking even more clearly, calmly, creatively, and peacefully through your throat chakra's intentions to manifest your heavenly reality, the goodness, the golden life of your divine inheritance here on earth, one self-loving step at a time. The beautiful Sophia Christ light pouring as a waterfall down through your throat, over your shoulders. You may feel your very skin crystallizing into a golden white ray of light as Hathor and the Hathor star nations sing at very compatible harmonic frequencies, imprinting sacred geometries over each of your chakras, and this beautiful golden white light of Sophia God flowing even more deeply through your heart center, expanding your column of light through your solar plexus, filling your sacral chakra all the way down your root chakra, all the way down your legs, strengthening, nourishing, and feeding your column of light that's connected all the way to the center of the earth. There, that star at the center of the earth, your column of light, shoots back up through your body, connecting directly with the seventh plane. And we welcome the Akashic records of your soul to be rewritten by your high councils, your higher self, and Sophia Gaia, Mother Earth. Because in the presence of Hathor, you become a new person. In the presence of the Hathor star nation, you become the most excellent version of yourself. In the presence of their golden light, you remember your tongue as a tool of prophecy and a sword that may slice through the darkness and allow the beacon of the Holy Spirit to speak clearly to all of humanity about its true birthright. As daughters and sons of the Most High, that will no longer be kept from the precious gift of their own light. You may feel as though your throat chakra is singing right now across reality without saying a word, and it is, it is, it is. Hathor is sealing these transmissions with an ankh at the back of your heart, and you may begin to feel it grow in size to mirror around your head, and then the arms of the ankh go across your arms, and then the stem descends down to your feet. We bless and seal these rites of passage by the power of the Holy Sophia, Mother, Father, God within each of us, as directed by your own higher self. In a 0-point calibration within your body, your emotional body, your mental body, your physical causal, your spiritual causal bodies. We give thanks at this transmission of activating key code 2 of the Sophia code within your DNA, building this bridge of light to your human awareness, your biological DNA, is now accomplished. It is done. It is done. It is done. And so it is. Amen. Thank you. Thank you for your willingness to receive. We welcome you to continue to explore your relationship with Hathor and the Hathor Star Nation in the coming days of June. Blessings to you on today's summer solstice. We've been in that summer solstice gateway since yesterday. Please be very gentle and kind with yourself. Summer solstices and equinoxes are gateways for very high frequency energies to flood the earth. Many souls leave during equinoxes and solstices, and many new souls are born in. And so because it's a more open doorway for change to happen, So you may feel that energy of the death and rebirth, that resurrection energy, which is so deeply associated, the resurrection energy, with the light of the sun. And here we are, where the sun is at its strongest experience for us in the Western hemisphere. And just welcome you to enjoy that, the blessing and the power of that. And we're sending you everyone's gratitude that I'm hearing from all of the ascended masters and magical ones and angelic beings and star nations anchored here at Mount Shasta. They are so grateful for the opportunity to connect with the light of your soul. And they're saying, if you would like to continue to work with them through meditation, to place a picture of Mount Shasta on your altar, to open a Stargate directly to the mountain from your home to their home. And they will be most happy to begin to initiate you daily and how to live a fifth dimensional frequency existence, which is what they do here in Telos. So all my love to you. So grateful to always come back together with each of you in this living transmission from the Sophia Dragon Tribe. Thank you again to all of the initiates that traveled to be here with us in the live immersive. We still have spaces available for Sedona. And after what just happened this week at Mount Shasta, I am so excited to see what's going to unfold in Sedona. It's going to be really, really, really special. So thank you to everyone who came that showed us just what the one body of Sophia Christ can do together in one room. It was an extraordinary week. And to all of the initiates that couldn't join us in Mount Shasta, please know that you are deeply in our prayers and our consciousness, and we could feel your higher selves dancing with us in the highest realms. So thank you for sending that much love and joining us in that much love. And we look forward to being back with you in the beginning of July, which is the month that the Sophia Code was launched into the world only 1 year ago. So much has happened within only 1 year, and so much is ahead of us as wayshowers of this divine feminine Christ movement. From my heart to yours, thank you for your support of the Sophia Code. Thank you for your willingness to be initiated into a truly powerful and very real modern day mystery school with the Ascended Masters, with the Sophia Dragon Tribe. It's such an honor to be here as your guide. All my love to you. Namaste.